Hey guys, welcome to this new training at Agency School. And now I want you to go and pick services. So, if you're wondering what services you can provide to your clients, this video is for you. And my objective with this video is to help you pick services and develop necessary mindset to deliver services to your clients. And notice that I said mindset and not skills. I want to help you develop necessary mindset to deliver services, because acquiring skills is not all that hard. Information is all over on the YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can learn a lot. There are dozens and hundreds of other YouTube channels that talk about digital marketing and learn from everywhere. But what people mostly lack is the necessary mindset. So that's what I think is more important than the skill, at least as far as service delivery is concerned. So I want to help you. Of course, skills are important, but even more important is the mindset. So I want to address both of them in this video, and let's get started. So talking about services, what are the services you can provide to your clients? You can provide your clients services such as Facebook ads, Instagram marketing, influencer marketing, SEO, sales funnel for lead generation. You can build their websites, you can build their mobile applications, you can provide them conversion rate optimization. That is, if they're coming to your website, the visitors are coming to the client's website and they're not purchasing. You can help your client to help them convert more visitors into actual sales. That is conversion rate optimization. You can provide them copywriting, you can provide them email marketing. And other services that you can provide are AdWords, local search optimization, Amazon listings. The list goes on and on. You can provide so many services. I've provided my client services such as hiring, business consulting. I've hired people for my clients based in the US. And can you believe they let me do the interviews, hiring and screening, sitting from India to their candidates based in San Francisco? Believe it or not, that's true. If you go to JoinSwitch, it's joinswitch.com. It's there, my client. And Adrian and Elliot, the founders, they were from a real estate background. They didn't know much about technology. So when they hired me, they said, Pulkit, you really understand the business. Can you help us with hiring? And bit by bit, before I knew, I was doing hiring from them based. It is not the actual hiring, of course, that the final decision was with the two co-founders, but the screening and this CV shortlisting and the initial first round of interview was on me. So all I'm trying to say is that the list can go on and on. And guess what? I'm providing photography services to my international clients. Clients are shipping their samples to me in India, and I'm doing their photo shoots. So services, it can go on and on. Okay, so what I want to say is that all these services are profitable. All these services are so profitable, and you can charge a bomb to your clients if you can get yourself in front of the right clients. You can charge them a bomb. You can charge a lot if you can get yourself in front of the right clients. The right clients for all these services will pay you a lot of money, but that's also too much, right? But the good news is you can learn all these services from my YouTube channel. All right, you can go to YouTube and all these services are there on my YouTube channel except for email marketing and conversion optimization. I'll add these videos, these modules, not noodles. I'm hungry. In the coming videos on my channel. But other services like AdWords, local search optimization, Amazon listings, I haven't done them firsthand, so I don't know. Maybe when I'll add them. But the point is, these services alone and all the services that I'm going to add in the near future, in the coming weeks, they will be enough for you to provide at least 5-6 services, at least all the services that I provide to my clients in my agency, alafashionretail.com. I'll teach you everything that I provide as services to my clients. So you can learn all of these services on my YouTube channel. And the bad news is it might be too much to learn for someone starting new. For example, talking about myself, it took me 10 years to acquire all these skills. Talking about Facebook paid ads, Instagram marketing, influencer marketing, SEO, I can do all these services. I can provide all these services firsthand without any need of a third person helping me out without hiring anyone. I can provide these services top to bottom to a client. But it took me around 10 years to acquire all these skills. And 10 years is a lot of time. So it's a bad news. But again, the good news is you don't need to learn everything and become an expert to sell these services. I repeat, you don't need to learn everything and become an expert to sell these services. What you need to do is you need to be strategic about your learning. In other words, you should know how much to know. Instead of trying to learn everything, be strategic. Okay? So let's talk about short term and long term. The things that you need to know in short term and things that you need to know in long term. So first talk about short term. In short term, you need to pick one or two services and go for mastery. Okay, starting out new, you can't learn everything, but you do want to learn. And I understand, we all want to be master at something. We want to be perfectionist. At least we want to be. But fair enough. If you want to do that, do it for two services. That's it. Take few months. I think in few months, if you want to learn SEO or conversion optimization of Facebook paid ads, Instagram marketing, any two services you can pick and achieve mastery. I think in 3 to 4 months, maximum 6 months, you can learn enough. Learn more than average digital marketers who you're competing with, because most people don't go for mastery. Most people don't apply themselves 100%. Most people don't go the distance. Like I always say, the actual competition in the market, if you are competing with the digital marketers, if you actually compete with them, if you try to give them a fight, you'll see that 90%, 80% either don't go the distance, they give up too soon, they don't strive for perfection, or they are just not there. They just have a digital marketing tag on their LinkedIn profile, but in terms of expertise, they are behind. They're not there. Okay, so the actual competition is always less than what you think. So if you pick one or two services and go for mastery, you can get good clients and give them awesome results in the short term. So let's talk about long term. In the long term, you can try to know each channel enough that you can sell it and hire the right people. So that should be your goal in the longer run. So in the short term, pick one or two services. When you're starting new, pick one or two services, go for mastery. In the long term, try to know each channel enough that you can sell and hire the right people. But you must be scratching your head like this kid. Should I try to learn it all or learn a few and go for mastery? Are you thinking about that? Well, it depends on your financial goals and your lifestyle goals. That how much do you want to earn? How much time? I'm saying lifestyle because how many hours do you want to work in a day? And what output do you need from those hours? And how much money do you want to earn? It largely dictates whether you want to learn it all or you want to just learn a couple of services and just go about it. And to explain, if you want to be a freelancer or have a safe job, I would suggest you pick a couple of services and go for mastery. Nothing wrong with it. It's a matter of your lifestyle choice. Because freelancers, if you look at freelance, I'm not talking about the production guy freelancers who charge $10-15. These are generalist freelancers who have worked for 5 years, try to learn everything, trying to provide everything on their own. So they don't delegate, they'll do whatever comes their way. They are not specialists in anything, and the hourly rate is $10-15 an hour. So these guys are generalist freelancers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about freelancers who would charge $40-50 an hour, will work for a couple of clients or even more, will only work with a couple of clients and make 1.5 lakh or 2 lakh rupees per month, and they're happy with it. They don't want to scale up. They don't want to hire people. They want to work independently, alone, perfectly fine. But that's not the agency model. Agency model is not when you want to do everything on your own. If you want to do everything on your own, you are a freelancer, and again, nothing wrong with it. Whatever you're happy doing is perfectly up to you. Okay, but if you want to be an agency owner and work with people, you only need to know enough to sell, hire, and delegate. That's it. You don't need to be master at services if you're running an agency, if you're the owner of the business. You just need to know enough that you can talk to the client intelligently, you can hire the right people, and delegate. Okay, of course, this is a more lucrative and more scalable option in which you don't have to do the work, you just have to focus on sales, building network, building partners, and when the project comes in, there's a team that does all the work. If you want to go that route, again, it's again your lifestyle and your financial choice, that how much do you want to earn, how much hours do you actually want to work. Now, how do you deliver a service? You can follow this simple framework that I'm about to give you to deliver any service you want in your agency. And this framework, this service flow is: gather enough understanding that you know more than the client. Step number one. Step number two, find a freelancer who can do the work and then borrow his or portfolio. You can use LinkedIn, Upwork, or Freelancer to find these people. And step number three, schedule a call with the client or a meeting and do an outstanding diagnosis of your client. Let me make it clear. Call meeting with the client schedule a call meeting with the client and do an outstanding diagnosis of the client. Ask them intelligent questions. Fourth, don't sell them service, sell them results. More importantly, a future. If you have gone through my sales training, you'll know what I'm talking about. Step number five, let the freelancer do it. Learn from him or her and share profits. So that's the framework you can follow when you're delivering a service from scratch. I mean, when you're new in the industry, that's the framework I want you to follow. And notice that I said find a freelancer. I'm not saying hire someone, because I'm sure you cannot hire someone. You'll not have enough money to hire people when you're starting an agency. But later, as things scale up, you'll be able to hire such people. You have a project, you have an HR, or you have references, you have CVs, the people who want to work with you, you hire them, you get them on board. But it's always advisable when you're developing a service, you don't want monthly recurring costs. So you want to work with someone only when you have a project, and that you can only do when you hire a freelancer. So just follow this service workflow. So if you're too early into this training and watching this video and confused about all these steps, don't worry. All these steps are explained in this training, in videos here and there. You'll understand. Just go through all the videos I have in this training. You'll understand each step very clearly. But what I want you to understand is that when it comes to providing a service, delivering a service, whenever you're in the dilemma about providing the service, just go through all these steps. And you'll say, obviously, right, I already know these steps because you have covered these in your introductory videos, and it looks too obvious. But I've seen most of my students, a lot of my students who I worked with in the year one of my training, freaking out as soon as they have a client who approaches them for work. They start asking, Pulkit, I have a client who wants to work with me. How will I sell the service? I don't know how to do it. Can you help me? I'll make it in a mess, or I'll lose the lead. They just freak out. The reason they freak out is because when they're freaking out, they're actually doubting themselves. I mean, that's what they're doing. The biggest worry is that what if I fail? They're thinking about the worst case scenario, that they have the project in, the client pays them, and you don't deliver. You just make it a mess. So it's more about all this nervousness and anxiety comes from your fear of failure. And so let's talk about the worst case. That what is the worst thing that can happen if you have a client? If you have a client hires you, and you just knew enough to sell the service, but you don't know how to deliver the service. Okay, so let's talk about the worst case scenario. The worst case that can happen to you is that you will try and fail miserably. And on a side note, the chances of you failing are much, much lower than you think, because just know that the client is going to give you more leverage than you think. Okay, because when you start a project, even the client understands, and you can tell the client that the initial 2-3 weeks it will take me to understand what you have tried in the past, to understand your business. The fine tuning will take a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. Client knows that, and generally good clients are happy to give you that much time. But if they're not, tell them that initial I'll take a couple of weeks to understand your business, and then we'll pick pace. So that's really the worst that can happen to you. You'll get a client in and you'll lose the client. That's really the worst. But that failure will give you the experience and context. You'll be better equipped to try again and succeed in your next project. And it's way better than not doing anything and letting the opportunity go by. So next time, if you have an opportunity, a client wants to work with you, or you want to pitch a client and you feel skeptical, you're in doubt that whether or not you can deliver this service to the client, just take a deep breath and say it like you mean it. I can figure this shit out. Okay, literally, just say it right now. I can figure this shit out. And if I can't, I'll find someone who can. That's again not as worst. If you cannot do it, I'm sure you only have to find someone who can. That's what I've done for all the services. I get the project in, I take the risk, and if I cannot do it on my own, I find someone. And believe me, you always have a couple of weeks before you start a project. A project takes a couple of weeks to warm up, and you can use the first couple of weeks, or you can preempt and use the pre-sales couple of weeks when you know the client is going to say yes, the client is about to make initial deposit. As soon as you know that, just put in all your energy into finding the people. Just go to LinkedIn, Upwork. I have a separate module about hiring, how I go about hiring people in a couple of days. I have done it repeatedly. I'll show you my pitches, my job postings, my LinkedIn messages, all my strategies. I'll cover that in an independent module. But I want you to just remember that next time when you freak out, just say that I can figure this shit out, and if I cannot, I'll find someone who can. Be willing to take the risk. Let me tell you about my recent product photography adventure. So last couple of months ago, I was having coffee with my partners, and we were talking about that we are a fashion company, and we somehow, I feel at this stage of a business with I Love Fashion Retail, I feel I'm working in isolation with my clients because I don't have a lot of local clients in fashion. I'm not working with any major retailer in India, unfortunately. I am sure it's going to happen in the near future, but it hasn't happened yet. But I've worked with some really big brands in the US, in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Dubai. I've worked with some decent brands. But I feel that when we're doing marketing for our clients, we just felt that we are not yet plugged into their business. We are still replaceable. And I want to be an agency that's not that easily replaceable, and that I can only do if I can be on top of the content. And by content, if we can create the visuals that client knows that only this company can do it for us. So somehow I thought that photography is one service that we want to get into. To one of my client, I just said that if you're interested in getting a photo shoot done, I think we can do better photography than your existing photographer. And that client is getting her photography done in the US, not from China, from the US. And she said, and she was happy from the website that we built for her, and she knows that we have good aesthetic sense, we have a good creative team. So she just decided to take the risk and trust me on my word that I'll deliver. And she just said, okay, just send me a quote, and if it works for me, we can give it a shot. And I sent her a quote, and guess what? She approved, and she made the 50% deposit almost immediately. And I said, okay, send us the samples, the products you want us to shoot. And she asked me for the address. I gave her our office address. Now guess what? I didn't knew that if I gave an office address for a shipment, for international shipment, it's going to get stuck in the customs. So there were two shipments that the client sent to me. One was from the US, one from North Korea, uh, where their manufacturers are, and both the shipments got stuck with the customs of FedEx and TNT, saying that you are you're accepting these goods, but do you have an importer license? Because that shipment address has my company address. I should have, no, big mistake, I should have got the supplies on either my residential address at my home address without mentioning company name, and major mess up. Now these guys asked me for all sort of documents, including my import export license, and that has already delayed the shipment by a couple of weeks. The shoot is late by a couple of weeks. The client now is waiting for me, is not very happy. I'm in a very unpleasant situation right now because the client or I, we both didn't expect this delays, this couple of weeks of delay, but this delay because of the photographs is delaying all their campaigns, online campaigns, and their existing sales on Amazon, because we were also to do photo shoot for the Amazon store. What I thought was, I'll get the supplies in, I'll find a photographer in my city, I know a few, and we'll get the photo shoot done. And I got the quote from the from the local photographers. I added my profit and gave the quote. I preempted everything, except I didn't knew that I should have got the package on my home address. Now I'm in a mess up, but am I really that worried? Yes, I'm worried for the client, because this client is one of my favorite clients. In fact, that's Emily from Hair and Heart, one of my dearest clients. I don't want to displease her. I really want to make sure that we get the shipment soon and we get this thing done. But somewhere in my heart, I know that I'll get the shipment in a couple of days. We have provided them all the documents, and I'm sure we'll give them good results. We'll do an amazing photo shoot for them because I have good resources and I can figure this shit out. So I'm saying that I'm preaching what I'm practicing. I'm not saying something that I'm not following. I'm providing currently dozens of services to my clients, and all these services are developed using the same values, my ability or my inclination to take risk. So I'd like to end this training with a couple of quotes that really support my business philosophy. One by Sir Richard Branson. He says, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, just say yes, learn, and do it later. And this another one is from Reid Hoffman, who's the co-founder of LinkedIn. He says, who's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds an airplane on the way down. Okay, so that perfectly aligns to these two quotes, perfectly aligned with the methodology that I'm trying to give you, that I use to develop services for my clients. That you don't have to know everything now. Just dive in and figure this shit out. Okay, so now I want you to go to my YouTube channel and start learning all these services. Watch all the videos, and after watching my videos, you'll learn enough, you'll know enough to get a client and deliver results. But don't wait to watch all my videos and achieve mastery and perfection before you can start pitching. Start pitching now. Get the projects in, figure out. And by the way, I'm also saying this in a broader life philosophy. In life, you don't have to know everything. Doing is always the best form of learning. If you want to do something, just do it and then learn. Do it, learn. Don't try to just learn and then do, because then you'll waste few weeks, few months, few years on something that you don't even enjoy doing, something that you don't even decide to pursue in your life. Okay, just do it. You'll know whether you want to take the second or third step. Just take the first couple of steps and you'll know whether you want to take second or third or fourth step or not, whether you want to go into the direction or not. Alright, so this brings me to the end of this session about picking services and developing services. I hope this video helped you develop an entrepreneur mindset and the courage to provide service to your clients. And Just go to my YouTube channel, start watching videos and start pitching and start working. Okay, don't wait for perfection, don't wait for mastery. Start pitching and start delivering the services today.